Hi students, today I am continuing the previous video. Here first of all see the definition. Subspace of vector space. A non-empty subset W of a vector space V is called a subspace of V. If W is a vector space under the operation addition and at the same time another operation scalar multiplication defined in V. First of all, here W is a vector space under the operations addition and the scalar multiplication in V. See this definition once. Subspace means V of F be a vector space and W be a non-empty subset of V, then W is said to be a subspace of V. That means if W itself is a vector space, that means W satisfies the vector space conditions. What are they? According to the internal composition, closure law, associative, identity, and at the same time inverse conditions. And after that, according to the scalar external composition, the properties left distributive law, right distributive law, associative law, and LDL, RDL, associative law, and identity law. These 8 conditions are also satisfied by the W. First of all, you have to take one example for subspace. In the vector space V3 of R, the set W is equal to A, B, 0. A, B, 0 such that here A comma B belongs to real numbers is a subspace. See the another definition. Let W is equal to set of the elements are x and 0 such that here x is a real number, then W is a subset of R2. It is easy to check that W is a subspace of R2. This is one example. Another you have to take another example. Let W be the set of all points on any given line. Y is equal to mx through the origin in the plane R2, then W is a subspace of R2. See the another definition, linear span. Linear span means let V of F be a vector space over the field F and S be any subset of V of F, then the set set of all linear combinations. Linear combination means scalar and vector at the same time. That product is called linear conditions, linear combination. That means now you have to take the scalars are denoted as A1, A2, so on up to AN, and the vectors are alpha 1 and alpha 2 and so on up to alpha n. Their linear combination is denoted as A1 alpha 1 plus A2 alpha 2 plus so on up to AN alpha n, such that here AI belongs to F and alpha I belongs to S, that I is equal to 1 to n. This is called linear span. Now see the definition, linear independence. If S is equal to V1, V2 and so on up to VR, is a non-empty set of vectors, then the vector equation, that means linear combination K1 V1 plus K2 V2 plus so on up to the last linear combination is KR VR is equal to 0, has at least one solution, namely K1 is equal to 0, K2 is equal to 0 and so on up to the last element KR is also is equal to 0. If this is the only solution, then S is called linearly independent set. If there are other solutions, then S is called linearly dependence. Here linearly independence means, see this one once, see the definition once again. Let V of F be a vector space over the field F. Then a set S is equal to contains the elements alpha 1, alpha 2, so on up to alpha n. Here S is called finite or infinite. This is called finite set because here the set S contains finite number of elements That's why here the S is called finite set, is said to be linear independent of vectors. That means now you have to take the linear combination of the elements, that is a1, a2, so on up to an. These are the scalars belongs to F, and at the same time you have to take the vectors alpha 1, alpha 2, so on up to alpha n belongs to V. Now the linear combination is denoted as a1 alpha 1 plus a2 alpha 2 plus so on up to an alpha n. That value is equal to 0 bar. Here the scalar values are a1 is equal to 0, a2 is equal to 0, and the last element an is equal to 0, where a1, a2, so on up to an belongs to Vf is not all zeros. Here a1, a2, so on up to an belongs to field. Now let V of f be a vector space over the field F. Here also now you have to take the set S contains the elements are alpha 1, alpha 2, so on up to alpha n of vectors, is said to be linearly dependent vectors if there exist scalars. Scalars are denoted as small letters that are a1, a2, so on up to an belongs to F, is not all zeros, such that now again the linear combination that is denoted as a1 alpha 1 plus a2 alpha 2 plus an alpha n is equal to 0 bar. This is called linearly dependent set. Here see some examples. If v1 is equal to 2 minus 1 0 3, v2 is equal to, now here the vector, second vector contains the elements are 1 2 5 minus 1, and the third vector v3 is equal to, the elements are 7 minus 1 5 8. Then the set of vectors S is equal to, the set contains 3 vectors. What are they? v1, v2, v3 is linearly dependent, since 3v1 plus v2 minus v3 is equal to 0. Now you have to take the another polynomial, p1 is equal to 1 minus x and p2 is equal to 5 plus 3x minus 2x square, and at the same time p3 is equal to 1 plus 3x minus x square forms a linearly dependent set in p2, since 3p1 minus p2 plus 2p3 is equal to 0. See the another examples, 3 and 3 is also an example for linearly independent set. And after that here this some are important points. Note this point note this point carefully and listen carefully. Here the first point is a set containing 0 vector. 0 vector is denoted always 0 bar and is always linearly dependent set. That means you have to 0 bar, you have to know that one is 0 bar, that 0 bar is always linearly dependent set. Now every proper subset of a linear independent set is always linearly independent set. This is another point. And the third one is every superset of linearly dependent set is always linearly dependent set. This is also important point. And another one is a set containing a single non-zero vector in a vector space is linearly independent set. This is the another important point. See these points carefully. Spanning sets and linear independence. A vector V in a, see this definition carefully. A vector in a vector space V is called a linear combination. Here now you have to take vectors that are denoted as u1, u2, so on up to uk in V. That means V can be written as the linear combination V is equal to c1u1 plus c2u2 plus ck uk, where the c1, c2, so on up to ck are scalars. Next point, let V be a vector space R and S. Here that set contains v1, v2, so on up to vk. Here the set is also finite set. Why? Because here this set contains only finite number of elements, that means vectors. We say that S is a spanning set of V if every vector of V can be written as a linear combination of vectors in S, we say that S spans V. Next, another one. Let V be a another definition. This is also a spanning set. Here, V be a vector space and R and S is equal to same elements be a V. Then the span of is a set of linear combinations of vectors C1 V1 plus C2 V2 plus so on up to Ck Vk. But here the C1 C2 or so on up to Ck are scalars. The span of S is denoted by spans of S as above or span of set of. Here also spanning is denoted as like that, set of V1, V2 and Vk. Now another one is V is equal to span of S, then say V is spanned by S or S spans V. Basis and dimension. Basis, what is a basis? Let V be a vector space and V be a vector space means already you know the conditions: closure, associative, identity and inverse. These four conditions are according to the internal composition, and again LDL, RDL and associative law, and also at the same time the identity law with respect to the multiplication. These totally 8 conditions are satisfied by the given vectors, that is called a vector space. Here S spans V and the second one is S is linearly independent. Now see another theorem, one theorem. Consider the vector space R3. Here E1 is equal to 1 0 0, E2 is equal to 0 1 0 and the third element E3 is equal to 0 0 1. Then E1, E2, E3 form a basis of R3. This is the statement of this theorem. See the proof carefully. For any vector V is equal to, in this vector the elements are x1, x2 and x3 belongs to R3. We have V is equal to, now you have to take the linear combination x1 E1 plus x2 E2 plus x3 E3. Here R3 is spanned by E1, E2, E3. Now we prove that here these three elements are linearly independent. Linearly independent means now you have to take the linear combinations C1 E1 plus C2 E2 plus C3 E3 is equal to 0, or C1 C2 C3 is equal to 0 0 0. That means here individually you have to take the elements, or C1 is equal to 0 and at the same time the element next one is C2 is equal to 0 and the third value C3 is equal to 0. Therefore E1, E2, E3 are linearly independent. Hence linearly independent means here E1, E2, E3 forms a basis of R3. This is the proof of this theorem. Next, what is a dimension? See, this is a definition. This definition. This is also important. Dimension means if a vector space V has a basis consisting of n vectors, then we say that dimension of V is n. We also write dimension of V is equal to n. Now you have to take, if V is equal to set of 0 is the 0 vector space, then the dimension of V is defined as 0. Next, here now in this second video and first video, totally in first unit these definitions are important. That means internal composition, external composition, vector space. There are so many theorems based on these definitions. So compulsory see this definitions, and almost all theorems depend on these definitions only.